Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about marketing foundation for business. This is a series of short overview lectures you've been taking with me for introduction to business or marketing classes. Okay, so this one here, I'm going to go I'm just going to hit the main part. You have my conceptual maps or my mind maps. Print them out. You have in the second tier. You have the publisher's videos. You have the publisher's PowerPoint. You have my full lectures. Just go online and go Dr. George, and you could get the 2-hour lecture on marketing. This one's just going to be real short just to go over. So let's go. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so it'll be easier for you to view. And I'm going to try to keep this under, like always, under 20 minutes. This is an overview with the book and everything else. You do well. Okay, so what is marketing? Basically, when I look at marketing, some of you are going to be doing a Canvas project for me as a written paper assignment. You look at a business is always there to solve a problem for someone else. I have a new idea to solve a problem. So when I'm looking at marketing, you have to first find a need for someone who wants your services. Very simple. Don't try to force it on there. But sometimes you come up with a new idea. Sometimes your client, your target market, does not realize they have a need for your product. So then you have to slowly plant seeds to exposure and frequency. That's marketing. How many times does my ad comes up, and where do I expose it? Do I do it in a radio media? Right now, am I targeting Generation Z, brand new? Those are people born after the year 2000, so they're already entering 20, 18. In that age, you got spending money, disposable income. Remember, marketing is looking at how do I get disposable income. Now, the other thing about marketing, you got the politics coming in the election and everything else. So marketing is also to make one candidate look better than another candidate. And remember, there's one thing about marketing that I tell people, because I'm a double major, marketing and management, that marketing, you try not to cross that line that you're lying or you're exaggerating or embellishing the truth too much. You want to tell them, here, my product's better than this product because use some numbers, some actual data, something, some consumers are saying this, or whatever reason, or this, my competitor does not offer this option. So do you see what I'm doing? So you're kind of marketing. So when I'm looking at marketing is how do I bring out that good face, the brand image that I want people to see me. Think about when a lot of people take their Instagram where they're taking a selfie. I saw a couple walking, she's going, oh, yeah. And all of a sudden her boyfriend says, oh, let me take a picture. I said, she's got the look and everything else, the good face. So that's what marketing is. Remember, do you believe everything in marketing? Some of it should be truthful. You're talking about medicine and everything else. But a lot of other things is like maybe 70%, 80%. I'm being honest here. I'm a business person, right? So when you tell somebody, hey, remember, you're embellishing your product, but don't lie about your product. Just put it to the one point. All right, so we got marketing. All right, so it's the process of finding a need and how do I sell it. Now it has 3 parts into this. I'm going to go. Look, you got customers, you got service, you got profit orientation. Part of marketing is how to make money. It's like a farmer. I want to grow. I want to sell apples. I have to plant seeds. I want people to come to my business to buy my taffy apples. I have to plant seeds. And how do I plant seeds? I do through marketing. I do the social media. I have coupons. I have promotion. I have radio ads. I'm in a good location, okay? But then when they come in here, if they want a repeat customer, so I'm focused on the customer. This is what he or she wants, not what I think they want. This is what they want. But then I have good service. Yes, sir, how you doing? Yes, ma'am, how you doing? I got customer service and everything else. The bottom line though is I'm there to make a profit. I don't want to give away everything. I still have to make a profit. If they want so much service and don't want to pay that amount, then I'll reduce it. And I'll throw this in with the political. All right, good. Okay, so and the marketing is both for profit and nonprofit. I could be a church. I could be a religious organization. I could be a nonprofit charity helping battered children, battered women, battered men, husbands, whatever. But how do I get people to come to? I have to be able to market and be able to be in that area where my message is coming for that area. I had someone doing something for, I was working with a client. She says, well, we want to bring in runaway kids. I said, someplace in Lake Forest. Okay, so what are you going to do? We're going to have signs all over Lake Forest. I said, okay, how many kids run away from Lake Forest? Maybe not as many. You want to be in areas, in some urban areas. Maybe you want to be in Waukegan area. Some areas where they're out there. They've got public transportation. That's where you want to have your marketing campaign. That's how you. And okay, so now they see your thing. How are you going to get them to where you're at? You have to be in the area. Know your customers. Know how they get information and how do you reach them. All right. And then the bottom line is to make a profit. So to that is when you look at nonprofit organization, the profit they make to the marketing campaign or the return on their investment for their product or services they're selling, they take that profit and then put it back to help the people that are called. Or in business, I take that profit, I give it back to my stockholders or everybody else. Okay, CMR, customer relation management, we talked about this. Customers always write a certain amount. If you're only spending $10 and you want $50 a return, you only come to my store one, I may say, get out of here. Or I think you have potential, I may give you a break. But not to the over the amount that you're basically contributing back to my business. Unless I think, again, the seeds, I think that you're a good customer, and if I give you this break, you'll come back because you like the way I treated you, and you'll buy more. I may do that once, twice, and you're always coming back for something, but you don't come back for a year, then you're not a good investment. Remember, customer relationship, nowadays, when I look up my account, and they say, hello, Mr. Mochocki, how you doing? Whoop, he's bill's good, he's got good credit rating. A lot of that information is on there, more than you think. Everyone's worried about what the government knows about you. Heck, you got to worry about what these data mining companies know about you. For a fee, you can find anything about you. And you could look at social media. You're going out with somebody, hey, what's his or her background? You pay them $25 to give you, maybe not go into the detail, but to give you enough general information, then you ask them that. All right, but you know more about them. All right, smile with a service. All right, so here's the market. How can I simplify? Could I utilize this with digital technology? You have to do it. Even people that are baby boomers are using some kind of technology. They may be using Facebook, or no one else is using Facebook anymore. Who the heck uses Facebook? Twitter's still there, and that's because Trump's on there. If Trump ever leaves Twitter and goes to this other ones I'm looking at, I forgot where it is. There's a bunch of other sites I'm looking at. BitChute or some of the other sites to go on there, Gab, Vine. I mean, Vine's kind of already on its way up. It may come back in. That gives me something else. So I have to know where's the majority of my clients, my target market, where they get information, and that's where I have to go. So when I'm talking business to business marketing, how do I go? When I'm there trying to talk to the doctor, or I'm there in the corporate office trying to make a sale, or trying to get my foot in to sell my product or services, I'm sitting there, I look at the paper, they read the Wall Street Journal, they read this Plastic Times, or I'm making up, I don't know if there is a Plastic Times, it probably is, you know what I mean? Here's the publication, here's the manufacturer, here's where they work. They may cross out the president's name, the vice president's name, but this is the vice president of finance. This is where their information. Someone's looking at that information for that company. That's where I spend my money. You see how you're doing some research? When a telemarketer calls you, he or she got some information when you filled out something out saying, I did this, and that's what they basically did. When you say, okay, I love to go to church, I love to read, I am patriotic, I'm not patriotic, I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal, I'm a market, whatever. That information, then they categorize you, and they say, okay, here's some information. Other people that have similar backgrounds will buy these types of a product. I'm a prepper. Boom, just send you all kind of stuff, more than you want to. Bass and Pro, they're not even prepper companies, just selling you stuff. You see, so all that information is how do I get that information and how do I market it to you? Okay? All right, so we have that. We have simplify, always with a smile, right? Don't try, small businesses, that's how they connect with their customers. They smile, they know them. 4 areas of marketing. Production, selling, market, customer relationship. We talked about that. Nonprofit, we talked about that. 4 P's. Make sure you understand the 4 P's of marketing. This is the whole thing. Every business. And when you look at marketing from your perspective, you're a brand. You're marketing your own self. You're marketing yourself. When they say George, what do you think? He's got his PhD. He's got his doctorate. He's got this. He's a market double major. He's he's a good speaker. He's a good communicator. He has podcasts. He does YouTube. Do you see what I mean? So you have to look at it. You don't want to say George, lazy, doesn't want to do nothing, but old fashioned, doesn't know technology, blah, blah. That's not what you want to do. So when you're doing a lot of that stuff, you're already doing that stuff when you're doing this for your people. Ask people what you want. Okay, so you have that. So make sure your product is your services, how much you price, what your competitors are doing. We're going to talk about that next chapter. Where do you want to place your product? I want everybody, but you have to find out what your niche is. Where are they hanging out? Where do I put my flyers? Where should I open up my business? Okay, perfect. Promotion. Get customers emotional about your product. You get that for, if you could get them involved, get them to do something that they involved. They could come up with a name. Mountain Dew did that when they came up with the different flavors or everything else, okay? Be a likable salesperson. Have confidence, okay? Marketing research. You have to do the research to find information. So if I'm going to open up my shop in whatever area, if I'm going to do in Grays Lake, I'm going to do in Palatine, I'm going to do in Lake Zurich, I'm going to Waukegan, I'm going to do in North Chicago, I get the demographics, social media, find information about that, find out where the customers are going. That doesn't tell me their everyday thing. It just tells me geographically what they're doing. But it doesn't tell me everything else about it. It just tells me some information. Okay, the 4 steps to marketing, opportunity, find out who the problem is, define the problem. You got to know what the problem of service is and how you're going to market and how you're going to serve that customer and how much you're going to charge them. I don't like to clean my house. I get a cleaning service. Who's a lot of cleaning service? What do I want? I just want to do it once a month. Okay, they're going to charge me more because if I come once a month, it's going to be dirty. If I do it every day, I get a different price because she or he could keep the place clean. All right. I collect the data. Remember, you have that secondary data is free. You have no information. You have census. You get data from the Chamber of Commerce. I'm giving you this. The book has everything else. I got websites. I got links and everything else. Okay. Primary data is now I got this information. Now I'm going to go in the mall. I'm going to target a certain group that I want to find more information. I hire people. I fire some consultant or hire some consultants and get some data. That's going to cost me. That's specific. There's data I want to find out to get them emotional. What do they like? The psychological. Are they country and western? Are they heavy rock? Are they liberal? What kind of music? Do they like jazz? Do they like hip hop? Whatever. Do you see what I mean? So that information is stuff that we're trying to do. Okay. So you got primary. You get focus groups help you out. I'm trying to finish this. Okay. Analyze the data. Once you analyze it and then you test the data to make sure that it's telling you what you want. You get the numbers. Look, I want everyone. So you're trying to do statistical probability. This is the largest amount of customers, and that's who I target to. Other people may come in there, but then I adjust it. Then I go find another market, and then I implement it, and then I test it. Key benefits. Let me check this out. Okay. Key benefits, analyze customers' needs, satisfaction, ways to find out what customers think, right? That's the hardest thing. You know what I mean? When you're doing now, we got the politics. Everyone knows what certain people did to the urban. People don't understand what they find out. What are the farmers thinking? What are the non-urban individuals, the silent majority, for lack of a better word? How are they thinking? Remember the last election when they blew the polls, everything else, saying Hillary was going to win, but President Trump won. Forget all that. They messed it. From a marketing perspective, these were the number 1 pollsters, for lack of a better word, and they got it wrong. Got it so wrong. So if they got that wrong, where else did they get wrong? What else are they telling me? Do I believe them for my product? Do they know who am I targeting? I'm trying to target the non-urban for whatever reason. That's where I want to go for. Do they have that market? Who am I marketing? Are they just giving me a little sample, but it's not the majority? So all that threw a lot in the question. So when I look at these marketers, the pollsters, they're trying to get this right this time, because if they don't get it right, it loses. Forget the election. You know, that's got its own thing. I'm talking about the credibility for those companies. Okay, environmental scanning. You have to find out what's going on globally, what's going on with the administration. Right now, everything's going to go on. There's a lot of stuff going on. How do I market? They got the COVID-19. They've got this stuff. They got this. They've got some are opening, some are closing, some got some kind of unrest. How do I get people in there? That's going to hurt my. I'm going to say, hey, we're safe again. We're whatever. Do you see what I mean? So all that is marketing. You have to look. You're looking at those things you can't control, but it's not only you. It's everybody else. This also has to be doing. You may be selling one product, but now they want mass, and so you might switch your product just to get your name and keep your business running, and then you go back to what you're doing. A lot of people are doing different work than they're doing just to survive now until everything opens up, and it'll open up. Come on, everything comes in. I'm older. Things come in. It goes through a cycle. Before you know, we're back to normal, hugging, talking. Well, we'll have a little more hygiene, but it'll be different. Okay, ABC is a marketing. Benchmark against the best. Develop, empower your employees. Remember, your employees. What I tell people to do consulting, they know more about your customers than anybody. You could hire me. They see that customer. I wish you had this in red. Why are your hours so? The prices are too high. I don't like this. Not all. And let them have some kind of venue that they could give this information that customers are telling them, and if they could come up with an idea or a solution to satisfy those customers, give them some kind of reward. It doesn't cost you much, but you get everything working on that. Okay, now the other thing you're talking about, business to business and business to consumer. Business to consumer, business to consumer, that's the one you do. You basically have ads and get everything else. Business to business is a little bit harder, because you have to have the niche. What you read in the papers or in the ads and things, I as a business person may not read those publications. So, and it's a smaller niche, so you have to kind of get into their environment. So if I'm looking at LinkedIn, if I'm looking at Social Business Network, some of these trade journals, or some of these trade publications, or some of these trade shows where businesses show up, that's where I have to go, right? Because that's also one of my background, business to business, and use. Always think about the end user, what they're doing, right? Okay, marketing to consumer, targeted market, geographic, demographic. This is different ways of breaking down your market that we talked about, that the author talked about, that we read about. Remember, this class you're taking, it's just a quick overview. There's so much. I'm just giving you, just whetting your appetite. I'm planting little seeds and some of the stuff so you have a general idea. Marketing to small segments. This is where you kind of start off. I said the soft marketing. A lot of you have a following, do some kind of social media or some kind of podcast. If you don't, start something. If you have a hobby, say, I'm George, I like to fish. Here's how you do it. And I'm just making up. My brother-in-law's a fisherman. He's telling me boring, but I'm not a fisherman. I buy it, hook it up, rent it out. But that's me, a different one. I'm the one that wants to go to the lake that's got a lot of fish, guarantee you'll catch something in an hour, where he doesn't mind going into rivers and different terrains and working on it, all right? But you have to know. And the other thing is relationship. You have to build that relationship with the customers. You have to find out. Don't pry into them. Find out. He does this. Here, have a cup of coffee. Get them to talk to you. Don't put that sales pressure. They may come in and come back, buy a little thing. Find out, oh, I saw you buy this. Other people bought this. You see this new thing? Hey, you mind trying this out? I tell you what, I'll give you 10% off. Just try it out. It's not moving. Do something. Do you see them? You're building that relationship. You know them by the name, okay? All right, buying decisions, problem recognition, information. That's where you got the internet, the web, purchase decisions, cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance basically is what they're trying to do. When you look at the ad, don't vote for Trump because blah, 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 blah. Vote for Trump because blah, blah, blah. Vote for Biden because blah, blah, blah. Don't vote for Biden. And then after a while, you have your positives and your negatives, and then you have your own preferences, and that's how you should select. I'm not telling you to be Republican, Democrat, Independent, liberal. I don't give a darn. You have to see, here's the candidate. I'm in the store. I've got two choices. Or maybe three, it depends. Which one do I want, and which one has a higher probability that I can live with that movement? Okay, challenges, challenges, common challenges, brand awareness, social media, budgeting is changing. Entrepreneur, especially small businesses, how do you connect with your customers? And business to business, who are business to businesses, manufacturers, government, everything else. The differences, and I have everything else on there. Okay, so we covered everything else. Let me see how how many minutes before I keep on talking here. Recording. 19 minutes. I've done pretty good. I know I'm talking a little bit fast. I'm trying to get this under 20 minutes. This is just something so you could have a general idea what marketing is about. Remember, and what you're learning here in marketing, the different things, take me from marketing classes, business to business, consumer behavior, all this is part of marketing. This is just so you understand. And think of yourself as a product or service serving whoever you're working for a problem. They need an employee, they need somebody else in there. And how do I market myself? How do I market myself for the next promotion? How do I market myself? A lot of people now, I'm doing Zoom meeting, right? In Zoom meeting, I got to have a shirt on. Boy, you're overdressed. It's a meeting. It's recorded. Somebody of influencer may look at that, or another person says, hey, I kind of like that, George. I kind of like Sally over there. Man, she's really sharp. She's got some good questions, or he asked some good question. And did you see what I'm talking about? And how do you put that good face on? How do you dress up? Good thing about this, I don't have to iron my shirts. The wrinkles don't show up. But now I got high definition cameras. It shows up pretty good. All right. So marketing, brand awareness. Get people to understand. I plant the seeds. It's basically is frequency. How often there's soda ads. If it's too much, it gets boring. People turn you off. They don't want to hear them anymore. It turns them off. And then so that's frequency, and then exposure. In which places you normally hear a jingle on the radio. You see a TV ad. You see everything else, and all of these are attacking. Or not attacking. They're stimulating different senses in your body. Remember, marketing is part of psychology or how the brain works. I don't really care about how the brain works. I just know I need all these stimuli. And then after a while, I'm walking around and see this, and then I see a McDonald's. I saw the sign here, this, have a this. We got different sizes. You know what? I haven't had one. Oh, the line's short, and I'm in there. All right? Again, my name is Dr. George. Read this, look at the concept maps, do everything else, and I think the next one we're talking about pricing and promotion. How do I get them in there, right? Marketing just about the product. Now, how do I make the next step? All right, talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I'm at 21 minutes. I went over. Jeez.